ready to question everything? Tune in.
Out there, what's the plan? Are we pawns or the kings of the land? It's the Robert and Crew Show.
Welcome to the Robert and Crew Show. As always, I'm your host, Robert. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the latest news that's been going on here. And as you can see, I've got my news-worthy background here. So as we can just jump in here today, there's been a lot of craziness going on in the latest news. For instance, we have all of this live news going on and the new Schmepstein files. And everybody is talking about this Schmepstein files lately.
To a facility where she is now more comfortable and has more access to folks both on the outside and her ability to move freely when she has victimized over hundreds and hundreds of women. And I'll add one more thing to that. We've written to the DOJ, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, demanding answers, yet no response from the Attorney General. We have no idea why she was moved and who actually, at whose direction was she moved to that facility.
But she was moved, and correct me if I'm wrong, by this current administration, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I
would think that, this is so outrageous that a big part of the investigation of your oversight committee should be on that as well. And I hope that you pursue that. But again, I think it is imperative that we pass the Massey kind of bill. Because I think it does have the force of law. Because I don't trust this administration to basically, something's going on here. I don't know what, but there's a reason why everybody went from we're going to release the files one day to the next day saying we're not. So in the spirit of full transparency and the spirit of demanding that they do what they said they were going to do, I think I think we need to do more than what we're doing. Mr. Comer?
Yeah, I was just told by counsel, the documents pertaining to the move would fall under the Department of Justice subpoena. So I think that's a fair question that I'm confident if we don't ask it, Mr. Garcia will whenever we're.
Welcome, Julie.
I'll tell you, this whole episode has been outrageous and it's disgusting. And it's been strange, especially the way this Congress has dealt with it up to this point. And so,
How are
some
you,
of us
Julie?
Believe we ought to, we ought to also pass the Massey kind of.
Can you hear me,
bill,
Julie?
and I hope that we will do that. I hope my friends on the Rules Committee will allow us to offer it, because I'll bring it up as an amendment.
Julie, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Go back.
Oversight
So
committee.
this is
trying
live.
To do the investigation.
They're going over the
trying to get the
Epstein
information,
file document.
Trying to get it released. They have been
Okay.
most of August.
Yes.
A significant part of August.
How are you
So
feeling
I'm
about all of this
confused as to
stuff?
Why the Democrats are opposing
A
it.
lot of it, I just
Doing
think
it in the
it's
way
crazy. Why haven't they caught any more people besides
Resolution added,
that
like the
Maxwell
Democrats
lady and
attempted to, in
we
middle
already
school
know about
in the evening.
Schmeppers.
him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a thoughtful
Mhm.
way that you are handling this
Mhm.
bipartisanly. I understand, and so I am just really confused about that. And I just want to say that I thank you for doing what you're doing.
Aren't we
because
all confused?
obviously need to figure this out in a respectful manner. So we are protecting those victims who don't want to be publicized. We're doing it in an organized
Wait a
manner
minute.
so that things happen and a
Didn't they just release all the files though, with like basically all of the victims' names like unredacted?
I think that's what I heard.
So
And then I've
how are
heard
we-
some,
So how
Huh?
is this? So how is this protection for the victims if we released all the victims' names?
exactly. And then I've heard it been said that there's more than just what they've said they finished releasing.
Oh yeah, there's still like 3 million more documents.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, Anna Paulina Luna, Nancy Mace, they want to know. I mean, they ask tough questions. And look, when Acosta is interviewed, there'll be some tough questions for him. He has a lot of
Good. We need the tough
questions that need to
questions.
be answered.
People
Yeah,
got
with
some
respect
answering to
so-
do.
So we've not
exactly.
put a line down, we're only going after the Democrats. That happened in.
Go
the
after all
past
of them.
when the Democrats
Yes.
they only
The
went after
Republicans, the
We
Democrats,
wanna
the
get
president,
proof,
after
and
all of them.
it goes
Everybody has
back.
to be gone
It's-
after at this point.
And spans 6 administrations. So, look, for whatever reason, according to the victims today, and Dr. Fox was in there, Mr. Garcia was in there, they've been giving interviews to FBI and other government officials, people in various departments of justice for decades, and name names, and nothing's been done.
Exactly.
You know, the
It's-
Biden
yes.
administration had an
Absolutely
opportunity to
nothing
release
has
the
been done.
Epstein files, and they didn't do it. You go back. I mean, this is something that we're committed to doing, and we want to do. I want to be able to say the Oversight Committee, this was a big investigation. The American people are watching. I want everything out and open. So,
Yes.
we're
I
trying to
think
do.
There's
everything
it.
we
even
need
been a baby that
hopefully-
was murdered
Yeah, supposedly.
and they did
Allegedly.
nothing about it.
I
Allegedly.
think the majority of the
Allegedly.
oversight Democrats are sincere and want to do this in a bipartisan way. Hopefully, the Democrat leadership will let this be bipartisan and not play political games.
Yeah, the games are. I'm done with the games.
Me too.
I will yield.
I'm confused too about something that Mr. McGovern said, that 97% of what's been released was already public information. I'm not sure why that's negative, because they keep saying that.
It's negative because you guys keep releasing the same stupid shit over and over again, thinking that we're dumb enough to think that's it.
Exactly.
That's why.
Right.
Is that hadn't been released before, whether it has any significance, but I'm confused, as the young woman from Minnesota is confused as to why are they downplaying that, or why are they saying that's a waste of time?
I don't
Because
know,
it's the
not.
same
And,
shit.
I think all of us during
Yeah.
August, if we went out and met with constituents, they were all asking about this. The American people want to know, they would like, and I've said this in a million interviews, they want to know, who all was involved in the sex trafficking. What
Yes.
big names
Yes.
were taking advantage of those girls, and was the government involved? Those
Yeah.
are the three questions.
That's what we
I
wanna
hope
know.
we'll be able to get
Yes.
as much information as possible. Look, this dates back, according to what we heard today from the victims, as far back as 96.
And listening to that
So,
one
you know,
victim.
As
let's hope
far
that
back
there's
as
still documents
1996
around.
is what he just said.
I've-
As far
I've
back as
Yes.
always
96.
had a huge distrust
And that's
of
what that
the
lady
FBI
said that
and
I
the
listened to the
Department of
interview
Justice
about
under, various administrations.
earlier
and
this
I've always
week.
had a theory that
90
sometimes documents
fucking
don't
six.
survive from one administration to the other. We're going to
The
do
year
everything we
after I
can to get that
graduated.
information, and I think this
Is when it
resolution is a
started.
step in the right
Crazy.
direction. I think I don't think the other things needed.
I thank the lady for yielding.
I gotta turn my oven off. Be right back.
And
Yeah, you're
just
good.
just to reiterate, I just hope that the Democrats will stop the grandstanding and really, work on the bipartisan
Don't we
oversight,
all?
committee and making sure that these things are dealt with. I think it's a disservice to all of the victims.
But
to
you
not
can't put
work
all
and
the
to
blame
pretend
on
that this
just
is
the
somehow
Democrats,
bad.
Yeah.
Miss
But
Fishbach.
focus on it and-
Mhm.
and-
The
and make
Republicans
sure-
are to blame
make sure,
too.
I'm
Right.
asking the Democrats, make sure that it's bipartisan. Make sure that you're doing what needs to be done, the disclosure.
Both parties have to agree then. That doesn't happen if
because
both
it's-
parties
this
stay
isn't something
stagnant.
That should be about
Yeah.
political
Right.
points. This
It's
is about
always
something that we
political.
should
For
investigate.
fuck's sake,
So
you're in government
with
right
that,
now.
I just hope that they would come with us and help with the oversight committee investigation.
Thank you.
With that, I yield back.
Thank you.
Ms. Stanley,
And the
you're-
lady that I listened to the other day, the victim,
Mhm.
got
Sorry there's so much
threatened.
confusion,
Yeah, a couple of them
on the
have
Republican
been.
Side of the aisle. I mean, I don't understand why we're just not all demanding that the administration release all the files. And we could do that if we were able to vote on the Massey counter resolution.
100%.
Apparently we can't do that.
Yes.
And forgive me if I'm just a little bit suspicious about all that's going on here, because I mean, I've been on this committee all year with all of you, and I have watched as we have weaved and dodged and avoided bringing anything to the floor dealing with this. And I've also, we began our August recess early because none of you wanted to take a vote and hold this administration accountable. And you ran out of time.
100%.
Yes.
So again,
Right
and,
on.
want to do something bipartisan? Maybe we all can join on a bipartisan appeal to this administration to find out why Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to a cushy
Yes.
facility.
Let's figure that
after
one
she
out.
Exonerated Donald Trump. So I'm sorry. I mean, we've lived through the last several weeks as Republicans have tried to avoid dealing with this issue. And so I hope, and I
Thank
trust
you. You're one of
that
the
there's
only
bipartisan
people that is
cooperation on the
admitting that
Oversight
the
Committee,
Republicans are also
and
at fault.
I want that
Yes.
investigation to move forward. But for
Oh
the
my
life of me,
goodness.
I do not
Finally.
understand why the administration, after promising to release all the files, has chosen not to. So
Because
that's what I'm
all of
confused
them are
about.
in the
Thank you,
files.
gentlelady, for you.
Everybody is
Yeah.
in the files. That's
Thank
why.
you.
Every last
Um,
one of them.
Mr.
Even
Comer, thank you
Elon
for your
Musk,
introduction.
and
Just
they
for
didn't
folks who are
even
trying
like
to play
him.
Catch up here, because there's a lot of details and a
Mhm.
lot of names being,
Apparently.
thrown around. You
Allegedly.
said that one of the issues
Oh,
here
Elon is
that
definitely
the
in the
US attorney
files. There's
who
no allegedly about it.
initially
begged-
And I'm
handled
saying
this
they
reference
didn't like him
Yeah.
allegedly.
Right.
No, Jeffrey Epstein didn't like
Was-
Elon. I think
the
he thought he was a
initial-
rat,
U.S. attorney was who?
which,
Well,
I
you didn't
mean,
name him, but it was Alex Acosta, right?
I
I
don't
don't know if
like
he was the
Epstein
initial, but
or
he was one of
Elon,
them,
so I
right?
think
Yeah.
both
But
of
yeah.
them
So he was the
fuckheads.
US attorney
But
appointed by
that's
the
Yeah.
just my
Bush in
that's just my
Florida,
opinion.
whatever
Yes.
district, and he's
Elon,
the one who gave the deal to Epstein.
his
where he served a couple
emails
months, but
sounded
basically got out
sketchy.
on
Mhm.
Release every day.
Yeah.
despite
The
all
wildest
crimes
party.
that we
Finish
know
your
about.
wildest party.
Okay, and in his later career, he became
Yeah,
secretary,
and
How about
then
you throw a
Elon
party,
Musk
Elon?
right?
Mhm.
And he had to leave.
has
after reporting-
what, a dozen children or more?
Is that right?
He's got a
I
ton
don't
of
know
kids. A ton of
what
kids. I couldn't tell you
Because
how many kids
but
he
He's
had.
trying to
It was about that.
reproduce
Okay.
America.
So,
Well,
Mr. Garcia,
In
I know
his
we've
opinion, he
heard
thinks
that
that
you've received
he's
some
like the
materials.
smartest man
Are there
alive and that
redactions
he'd
in
be
those
stupid
materials?
not to spread his seed
There are
everywhere
appropriate
and
redactions. We
have
will be
as
able to
many
review the full
kids as
materials.
possible.
There
He's
will be some
actually like
opportunity
came
to
out
review the
and talked
materials
about that.
without some
Yeah,
redactions.
because I
for
remember
some of the
hearing
committee
that.
staff and committee members
Yeah.
that don't put any of the victims in
He
harm's
paid
way.
like I've
But there are
heard
some, again,
rumors that
the
he's
reality
allegedly
with the
paid
materials, though, is
women
there's
to have his
nothing
babies.
really with a small amount, a couple thousand
Yeah,
pages
I've heard
of
that
new
too.
information. And all the information was first given to right-wing influencers back in February, and then has been released to the public, whether it's been through the media or
Okay, but
or
don't
other
act like the
ways. So,
Democrats didn't do the same
we can
thing.
get the full files today. We know the DOJ
Yeah.
has them. They're not answering our questions. We're asking when are we getting the rest of the files? We get no response. And to clarify one thing, Ms. Gallen, I think it was said earlier by another member of the committee that we're somehow opposing this resolution, or we're not opposing
Both
anything.
sides are
We want
opposing
full
it. What are you
disclosure.
talking about?
If the majority wants to put together a resolution to add to more disclosure, that's fine. But that resolution should in no way supplant the
All
discharge
you guys would
petition
have to
or
do
serve as
is
some kind of
write up a
distraction
thing
to not
and
get the
release
full
the
Congress
files
on record to
today,
release all the files.
all of them,
I mean, I
and
guess I was
everybody
asking
would
about
be
the
done with it.
redactions because
Everybody
there's
would be
been
okay. Just
reporting
release
that
all of
under
them.
Attorney General
Nonchalantly, just
Bondi,
release all of them and
hundreds
unredact
of
them.
FBI and DOJ
Yeah.
man hours have
Obviously,
been
redact
dedicated
the
to
victims,
redacting all references
but
to the
unredact
president.
everything else. Come on, guys.
So
This
is
is
there anything to
ridiculous.
indicate that
It
the
is.
materials you've received thus far
Absolutely.
contain some of those redactions?
So we believe that the materials that we've received so far there are redactions in there. We are reviewing some of those redactions. Currently, the team still is, but we believe that again, that a vast majority of those documents are actually not presenting any new information.
Yeah, that's why y'all are
And we do
allegedly
believe there are
redacting Trump's
important
name
and
from
critical
anything that sounds
documents that
sus.
we have not yet received
Yep.
from the DOJ that contain important information to this investigation, and we have yet to see those.
How about y'all be
Do
transparent
you
for
have
once?
explanations for the redactions that you have seen thus far? Have those been provided by
Well,
DOJ?
We do have
X-print.
some explanation of some of the redactions, but there are no documents in what we have been presented that are of concern as it relates to redactions.
I'm just concerned because that is one of the pieces of the Massey underlying legislation, which is that to the extent the DOJ turned over any materials, it would have to explain any redactions
That's right.
or claims of privilege. or
How can you
whatever.
But that's
explain a
for certainly
redaction if
future
we don't know
documents.
what's
Yes.
being
As more
redacted?
documents come forward,
Yeah,
ensuring
exactly.
that is a piece of it is going to be important.
Because that makes fucking sense, right?
And I guess going back to
Right.
this issue of Ghislaine Maxwell getting this cushy assignment, my understanding is that when she was moved to this new facility, that was against Bureau of Prison regulations, and someone
Correct.
higher up from the White House or the Attorney General's office would have had
Trump
to
moved her.
Yeah.
excuse that.
Well, we all know that
normal
Donald Trump
Bureau
moved
of
Ghislaine
Prison,
Maxwell. I
rule.
mean,
Is
there's
that
correct.
right?
nobody else
That's
could have
what I
done it.
thought. Okay, thank you. Anything else you want to add?
Just that I think that Republicans should join Democrats on the Oversight Committee and others in demanding answers as to why Ghislaine Maxwell
Yes.
was moved and who gave the orders
I agree.
to move Ghislaine Maxwell. We still don't know that question. that answer.
Yes.
I think that's an important part as well, and pleased to have been able to sign the
Okay, at least that dummy had the right thing to say at the very end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, we just
I'm
missed
so
it, that's all.
I'm so sick of
Whataburger
these
Monterey
people
melts is back.
acting like
Tell
they
me
are
that.
better
Whataburger.
than the American
Mr. Governor,
people.
you've been kind of
Right.
very critical
I
of
mean,
everything that's been going on here. And about
Like,
needing answers.
motherfuckers, you work
Some
for
of it,
us.
we
All
do
of
get
y'all
answers
work
on.
for us. That's how it's
But
always
the
been.
biggest, and you
But
said
yet
things
they
were
come out with multi-million
outrageous and
dollars,
whatnot,
sex
you're,
trafficking scandals,
confused.
and
What I'm confused about, you were elected
nothing
Congress
ever
in
gets explained.
1997.
yep.
28 years.
And they
You
did
were
cover
chairman of
it
this
up.
committee, the
Cover
Rules
it
Committee,
up.
From 2019 to
Sweep it
23.
under the rug.
Now,
Secret
Let
CIA,
it be.
all of a
spy
sudden so
agency
important, when
bullshit,
you was chairman,
Mossad,
you had every
BS, and
right to
FBI
bring up
acting
everything
stupid like
we're talking
usual.
about now.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
And
it to you?
allegedly, some of the
So that's the
FBI
big confusion I had.
were
And
on the
Jack,
island.
Representative Comer, the thing about political grandstanding, that's all this is.
Well, I didn't,
And I
I
don't,
presidential
I'm,
campaign
hold on,
saying it was a
I'm not
release to Epstein
talking.
files.
If I've got the floor, I recognize you, but we're not going to talk over each other. Have some decency. This is a
Have some
anti-Trump.
decency.
You're asking all these questions, who released Ghislaine Maxwell? When you had the opportunity, you didn't say one word. This is
Ooh,
anti-Trump.
he coming
and
for
it's
blood.
coming out for that.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this. How many victims were interviewed today?
6.
And you think it's hundreds?
They said it was hundreds, like close to 1,000, but hundreds. It's what the attorneys for the the attorneys were represented by 4, the victims were represented by 4 attorneys, and they said as many as 1,000.
Well, the process is
1,000?
moving forward.
Jesus.
We all know the discharge petition.
And
I
this-
don't- I
And
don't
then
mind
all the
having 2
children.
tracks.
Yeah.
But
All the
bottom
sick
line is,
videos of
whoever knows it has
Epstein
to go to
chasing those
Senate.
little kids around his
I don't
kitchen.
know what they'll do with it, but it's
Yeah.
going to take time. You're not waiting on anything.
No,
You're moving
we're
forward.
moving forward.
And like,
And all the
Chairman
pictures of the
Fox
kids
said,
laying on top of
everything's
him,
gonna
the
get
pictures
released.
of
Now,
the
let me
kids
ask you
that
this,
he
are the
had
flight
like in his
logs
office, and the
public
weird little
information?
trinkets he
Who's flew on
had
the planes?
of his like his survivors or the victims
Okay.
trinkets that
Some
he had
are,
on the
but
desk in front of him.
State subpoena
Yep.
should cover.
And I even saw
for
one
that.
We
yesterday.
all know anybody that's, how far back with the
Where
flight logs?
this
You can alter a flight log.
Apparently, she was a
If
girl.
you're
She
flying on a
looked
plane, you
Back
can't,
to 1990.
feminine,
in 1990,
Uh-huh.
but
we know
um,
people that were on that flight.
they
weren't going
even
over there
had to
have
cover
Bible
up
study.
her private
They
area.
were doing other
Yeah.
The
things.
way she
We'll
was
see.
sitting. I'm
This is
like,
your opinion, all the flight logs.
Mhm.
of whoever
oh,
went,
just red flags.
There, that
then
was
that would
that
be
I
released.
actually believe that
Yeah.
that was a picture
I mean,
of
that-
Elaine
I
Maxwell,
wanna know.
and she was
I
in
think
the
everybody wants to
limousine,
You hit it on
and
the
she was
head,
coming
James.
out
Too
of the
many people don't know
limo,
the
and her
names.
legs were
If a crime
open,
has been
and it was a
committed
shot
against,
of her,
thousands of
but they
women,
had
young
to
girls.
blur out
This
her
transcends politics.
underdress
That's why
because
I don't
the way
understand.
she was sitting
The
in the
fact that you're
limousine.
politicizing this is not right.
But that
This
was
transcends.
Elaine
This is
Maxwell.
young
That was
girls getting
But
Jeffrey
I think it
Hilbert.
was a girl too, a
So
little girl.
the fact
I,
that
I saw
the flight
I
logs
saw
will be released,
a
we'll
picture
know
like
the
that of
names of who
Elaine.
flew over
I didn't see a
Mhm.
picture of anybody else like
and
that.
then the
Okay.
public, I think that's the big name. If
Mhm.
crimes have been committed, who did it?
Right.
And then let them face a trial, let them
Absolutely.
face a.
Did you see the creepy
the
photo
jury
of,
hears.
I don't know if it's
Now,
from the Epstein
I
files or
think
not, or
Scanlon
if
said
it's
the redactions by Attorney
fake,
General Bondi.
made up AI
contained
photo, but it's
things
the
with
photo
President
of
Trump.
Trump
Now,
and Bill Clinton in bed
What did
together.
you say, Representative Garcia?
I
That
had
was
not seen
right.
that one.
Correct.
It's a
But-
weird photo.
First, to be clear,
I've
think the Attorney
seen a
General
real photo,
herself has
well,
said that
looks
President Trump
real,
is in the Epstein files.
of
to
P.
be clear.
Diddy,
That's been
President
been
Trump,
reported. And as
Elon,
far as what
and,
redactions include the president,
Ep-
we don't have the files yet
you know,
to know what those,
Epstein-
what those
Epstein.
redactions actually are.
Epstein was in
Get the
a
files,
photo with
y'all are
Elon
definitely
and,
will ask the
and P.
question.
Diddy.
Why
Yeah.
were they reacting?
Oh, I didn't know
I'll
that.
have to try to find
did.
that picture.
And as far
Go
as
back
who
and
put
try to
Ms.
find.
Maxwell
That's
in
crazy. I didn't know
another,
that one.
Prison.
Yeah,
assume
I
that
saw
will
it
come
yesterday. I
And to
kept
be clear,
seeing
our
different
request has been
things.
to redact the names of the victims. There shouldn't be circumstances, nor would we support redacting the names of the perpetrators
No.
or anyone that actually committed the harm. And so that would
Except
not be
that's
our
exactly what you
expectation.
guys did.
We think the full release of the files is important to check that work, of course.
Well, maybe not you, but the FBI
Okay.
did that
So,
exact thing.
if-
They
if-
redacted
so it's
names of the
Nothing
people that
was-
hurt
President
the
Trump
people,
has been
not
redacted
the
to your
victims.
knowledge of what's been released
Oh,
so far.
okay.
If anything with President Trump's name has been redacted, it has not been, it's not something that's been in anything, it's not any new information. So.
Then why
it's
redact the
open to
name?
public.
So
It's not new
Exactly.
information, then why are you redacting the fucking
Picture of-
name?
Of a president who has got support of
Well,
77 million people.
I mean, sir, I mean, it's the president that actually campaigned on releasing
And
the
then
full
there's
files
been
when he was running. I
pictures
mean,
where
this-
they've
he admitted it's
reacted the
essential issue of
whole
his- one of the central
picture.
issues of his campaign.
It was just
Aside from
completely
that, though,
blacked out.
you had 4
How
years
come we're acting
under the
like
Biden
just because
administration.
Trump said he
was
wanted to
chairman of the
release
committee.
the
He could have
Epstein
brought it
files
up
that
day
Trump could
one,
do no
didn't
harm?
do it. So if all of a sudden the interest,
Exactly.
and
I'm
to
sorry,
be
like,
honest, I'm glad it's
sure,
coming out
I
now. There's been a
voted
lot
for
transpired
Trump his
with
first term.
Ghislaine Maxwell,
Second
the
term,
death
I
of-
didn't
don't know,
vote.
when did
I didn't
Epstein
vote
die?
because I didn't like him and I didn't like Kamala. Okay,
2019, August.
2019. Okay, so a
Trump
lot
can do
Yeah.
wrong. He's not
over the
Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
He's
20
not
years
God.
ago.
He's not the Messiah. He's
I think-
Donald Trump,
Thank you for what you're doing.
billionaire,
I think that
possible
public
sick
needs to know,
pervert that we
as
don't
they do
really
on
know.
most everything.
Like,
There are a lot of questions
it's
of the government
kind of
involvement in the shooting
disturbing.
of President
Like, to be
Trump.
quite
And
honest,
that's gonna
that
come
we
up at some
allowed
point. Not only
somebody
public,
that was
but
even
Pennsylvania, but the
questionable
So,
in this manner
is
to
there
take
anything you wanna
office.
add to what
And I
Ms.
really do
Garcia
feel that way, but like,
No, I just think.
was
that,
it better that he
you know,
took
the
office in
subpoena
hard
covers
ass?
everything.
Probably.
I mean, if there are fly
But
logs
at the
with
same
estate,
time,
that'll
is
fall under the
he
subpoena.
a sick
If there are
man?
questions about
And if he's a
why
sick
Maxwell
man,
was
should he
moved
be in
from
office?
Florida to
No,
Texas,
he shouldn't.
that'll fall under the DOJ
Yeah.
subpoena. So we are
Same
Even
thing.
though I don't care for
Has
I
been,
can't say her name.
Working with us to turn
But,
over the document. It takes a long time to
For
gather.
Melania?
even though, no,
transcript
the one you
34,000
just now
pages,
said,
and, we're hopeful there's
Kamala,
more.
Kamala Harris.
even though I don't care
Post it
for her,
online as quick as we can.
would have been
Okay.
better for
Norman,
her
would
to
you
been
yield
in
for a minute?
office or him.
Pardon me?
Would you yield for a minute?
I
Yes, ma'am.
think
I'll yield.
Sure.
I
just
think
wanted
if we
to
had
seek
Kamala
unanimous
Harris in
consent
office,
to
we'd
put
still
in
be
a
going
Newsweek article
through
from
the
August 1st
Biden
of this
years.
year, so just
Okay,
last
we'd
month,
still be on the
in which
same
it talks
BS
about
that
the
Joe
fact that
Biden
Trump's
was
name
doing.
was in the Just
And the
Freedom
problem,
files,
the problem,
and
is-
that
the problem
I
with that
agree.
is we would be flooded with immigrants
Remove
still.
his name and others.
Ridiculously, the
August 1st,
border would still be open.
2025,
Nothing would be getting
Newsweek report,
done.
it was also in
I mean,
Bloomberg and
I
several
think
other
Trump
things,
has
but I
done
will
some good
reference
things for
your
this
release.
country. Don't get me wrong.
I yield the
Yeah.
floor.
But I think there's
So
been
what you just
some
said, y'all
real
will be able to
fucked
get
up
into that,
things
won't
that
you,
have
Norman?
happened in
So
Trump's
you'll be able to
past
answer every
that
question.
he
Now,
is
Mr.
not
Governor,
willing
fairness to
to
you,
let the
you want to
public
answer
know.
why, when you were chairman of this
And
committee, you didn't
I
bring up
mean,
anything
that
about
that would
Jeffrey
be
Epstein?
fine and all if the public couldn't
Yeah, I
find
mean,
it.
one is I
And
didn't
to be quite
campaign because I
honest,
was
it's
gonna
all there
release
out in the
Epstein
open right
files.
now.
Donald Trump made it into a big
Yeah.
issue, and then we all expected it was going to be released, and then he decided at the last minute to change his mind, called people, said it was a big hoax, said Republicans were stupid.
Yeah,
He's like,
right here.
for going along with it. And so those are his words. And by the way, Ghislaine Maxwell just got transferred like a month ago. So I wasn't chairman then of the committee.
No, of 2019 to 2023,
you
you
know,
were
I mean,
chairman.
I would have. Yeah, I mean, if people had brought to my attention that there was something there, I would have demanded that
No.
they be released.
The victims, no. That doesn't
Well, I
hold
mean,
water.
if the victims came to
That
us,
didn't
we
hold
would've-
water.
We are, yeah, but the victims want the files released.
And
And
this man's over
Republicans
here
have
trying to
been
make himself
frustrating
sound
that
like he's
effort
not a
for
bad
months
guy.
And months and months. And you even adjourned early to avoid having to vote on it.
That is
So-
not
so we
true.
want-
So
we
I've
want-
lost
we-
my
I want-
co-host
I want the
Julie, but I'm
truth out
sure
there. I
she'll
want the
be back
files
in
out
here in a
Taking my
minute.
time back. I'm reclaiming my time. The fact is, if you had all the interest that you do now, it's just because of Donald Trump. You had 4 years to do it as chairman of this committee.
Yes,
And
he
you've been-
did.
You've been in Congress 28 years.
Yes,
You and
he
I both
has.
know the victims, this has been out that young girls have been victimized for the last 15 years.
Yeah, and it's
And you
fucking
did
sick
nothing.
that none of y'all have
Visit
done a
Rent
damn
Print
thing
signs
about
So
it.
people can see your brand up close. But we also print signs so that people can
Not
see
a
your
single one of
business.
y'all.
See it here and see it here. So you
Thank you, both of you, for
Thank you.
testifying. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Norman.
Sorry,
Ms. Messer
technical
Fernandez, you're
issue.
recognized.
You're all right.
Hello, Chairwoman.
Somebody
We
was trying to
are
call me.
Back, aren't we? And we're back on Epstein, which is where we were before indeed
Oh,
Johnson
Yeah.
shut down Congress early, so we would not have to vote on a motion to put on the floor of the House the Massey kind of resolution to force the release of the Epstein
Oh, I like
files
her.
to the public.
Me
to
too.
pass a
Who
bill
is
that
she?
would make it law.
Legger
that all of the files
Ferdinand.
would have to be released.
Ferdinand.
And there is no reason
Okay.
Ledger
to
Ferdinand.
not
Miss Ledger
still
Ferdinand.
have that be a rule. And we can do both. But Republicans and Trump especially seem terrified
Uh-huh.
of those files and seem
Yeah.
willing to do all kinds of things to avoid a vote on that bill.
I know.
Now, I want to go into some other things, but I'm going to yield some time to my ranking member.
No, I would just want to respond to Mr. Norman. I knew there was some there when this administration was trying to hide everything. And that's quite frankly what, what has a lot of us concerned about what we're not doing here today. and
Okay,
that
but
is not
Mr.
voting
McGovern,
for
you've done
the
absolutely
bill.
nothing.
And my understanding is that there's some reporting out now.
Yeah.
That the White House is calling Republican members, asking them not to sign onto the discharge petition. And
I don't like a lot of what he says.
your resolution.
I just don't.
Well, do you
Before we
see
kind
that
of
these
abruptly,
guys have to come and
left
tell
early
him
for
what to
our
say?
August recess.
They
But
come
Yeah.
over here
this
and they
isn't
like say
so
something
right.
into his ear and they're like,
And,
hey,
I think
you're
we need to get
fucking
to the
saying
bottom of this.
the
and
wrong
that means
shit.
that
Say
all
this
the files have
instead.
to be released. I yield back, I think, the gentlelady.
Thank you, Ranking Member. And, I am chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus, and we are always concerned about the fact that in this country, women and
See,
children
to
and
everybody that
girls
says
are
that I hate
attacked.
Democrats, you're
They
full of
are
shit because I like
abused.
her. I like
They
her.
are raped. They are trafficked. And they are done so by men like.
Yeah, because not all
and they're women
Democrats
like
are bad.
Maxwell thing. And I think that
Majority of them, but there's a
as you
few
pointed out,
in between I think are
Impressive.
alright.
that
Yeah.
she has now been treated favorably by the Trump administration after saying some things they like.
Yes. And I have a
what we
problem with
haven't
that
heard
too.
From you, Chair Comer, is
Yes.
a commitment not to say, well, it's.
D.
gonna
Lane
be-
shouldn't
Unless
get
there's
any special
actually
treatment.
some
have a
conservative
hearing on
people in
why.
there.
D.
Will
Lane
you
shouldn't
commit
get
to
any
having
special
a
treatment.
hearing to determine
Exactly.
why she was moved to
She's a
more
known
favorable conditions
pedophile
after that
person
interview?
We'll have a hearing
or whatever she did.
Yeah.
to
She
determine
helped
the
traffic.
crimes that were committed. The hearing's going to be geared towards seeking justice for the victims, not scoring political points
This is
like
not
you
a
all want.
political
Thank you.
point.
We're concerned about the victims and their request that someone finally be held accountable because they weren't during the Biden administration. They weren't during the Obama administration.
I'm going to take.
They weren't
back
during the
the-
Clinton
Chair Comer,
administration.
The question was whether you would hold a hearing as. to
We'll have
why
a
she was
hearing.
Transferred,
You,
why she was transferred after. that
we'll have a
interview. And I-
hearing, and
and
if
so
someone
the
wants to
answer is
ask
no.
that
So
question,
the
they can
answer is
ask
no.
it. You
Why
can
why
ask any
wouldn't you
question.
answer it now
We'll have a
though?
hearing.
Yeah.
It
I like
wasn't a
what you're
hearing on what the
saying,
question was.
but you're
And Ranking
avoiding
We'll
the
have
question.
A whole hearing, a whole entire hearing, not about the victims, not about a government cover-up, not about human trafficking, but about Maxwell, who you all were like begging to be deposed, and I did the subpoena. Now you want to, now you're mad because she exonerated Trump. We brought in Bill Barr, who is I don't think it's any secret that he and Trump aren't best of friends,
my
and
question-
he,
I'm going to reclaim my time.
well, that's
Reclaim the
fine.
time. The question wasn't about shouldn't we do all these things, but this is something very specific that indeed, as I understand, the victims raised today, they're outraged that this has happened. And it is indeed a re-traumatization when somebody who has done such horrible things is then treated favorably
Exactly.
under these conditions. And I think that's where,
Yeah.
where it's
That's
at.
the problem.
And I really want to thank you, Ranking Member Garcia, because you focused in your opening remarks about the horrors of what you heard today and of why it is so important for the survivors that they get justice. And it needs to come in many forms. And I think the fact that Trump doesn't want us to vote on this bill tells you a lot.
Yes,
Right?
I do too.
And why are Democrats worried? We are worried because Trump keeps distracting and lying about things.
Okay.
Right? Anytime he doesn't like something.
Besides
he
what she
distracts and he
just
lies.
said, I agree with quite a bit
He
of
claims
what she
inflation
said.
is down, but America's
Yes.
working
But we
families
can't
who are
put
paying more
everything
for
on
anything
Trump
groceries
either.
know the truth. Our small businesses are closing because of those tariffs. Trump didn't like the fact that Americans are losing jobs, so he fired the person who gathers the data. And with the Epstein files, he's terrified of what's in those files, and he knows his name will keep coming up again and again. And it is tied to the fact that Trump himself, Representative Garcia, you know that he's been accused of sexual misconduct at least 28 times. He's found liable by a jury of his peers with sexual abuse and defamation. So we're not going to be surprised when we find out that his name has been in his files, and we want to see what they are. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I think we want to know what Attorney General Bondi told the president as it relates to his name being in the files and has been widely reported. And I think the American public they have a right to know.
And I think that
Yeah, we do.
Americans are worried
But
about trusting
we had the right to
Republicans
know
on this
when it happened.
Because now Chairman Comer is saying we're doing all these things. Had they done anything at all before Democrats forced the vote on the subpoena? Had oversight done anything on
Well,
this
I think
before?
that's a good reminder. I mean, the vote was a forced vote by a subcommittee of Democrats on oversight, where we got not all, but some Republicans to join all Democrats to subpoena the Epstein files. And had Democrats not taken that action, we'd have no subpoena and we'd still be much further back in this investigation.
Right.
We're still much further back in the
Democrats voted against
investigation.
subpoena.
I don't care how much
All
shit
all
gets
Democrats-
released.
So
We
two
still don't know
Republicans,
jack
all,
crap.
all Democrats forced the vote. Oversight had not done anything with regards to this until Democrats forced the vote. And then you had two Republicans vote against it nevertheless. Is that correct?
Including the subcommittee chairman, I believe.
Including the subcommittee chairman. So leaders in the committee voted against the subpoenas. Now they're taking, and so this is why Americans might be worried about whether they're going to be forthcoming. Now, Chairman Comer, this resolution would give you and only you the power to decide what information in these
Somebody's
documents
phone's
is
ringing.
redacted or withheld. Is that
Yeah, I hear it.
I
Too.
think it was that dude.
Well,
He
the,
turned it off or
You
something.
know, we're trying to do this in a bipartisan manner. Our staffs are communicating. I think, I hope Mr. Garcia would agree. I think our staffs, he's new to the job, and I think our staffs are working together really well, and hopefully we'll continue to work well. Like I said, I want this to be bipartisan. I don't want members of the committee, and members of the committee haven't been
So I
making
like
the
him a
accusations
lot,
that members of the
but
Rules
I
Committee have
also
been
feel
making.
like
That
he
you know,
says
this
exactly
isn't
what you
bipartisan.
want to
We
hear,
want
which
this
can
to
be
be
a
a
problem.
bipartisan investigation.
Yeah.
We want to get the truth, and hopefully we'll do that. And you know, you're trying to, I feel like, create a false narrative here to say that the Trump administration isn't working. They have been turning over the documents, and I mean,
So
I
what
feel
we've
like
heard-
we're on a pretty good roll here.
so?
More boxes, more options. Grainger has over 1,700 box types in stock and ready to help you pack, store,
Require you to consult with the ranking member.
The
before
only
you
thing that's
redact.
going to be redacted are
Does the
names of
resolution-
victims.
Does the resolution give the ranking member any role in approving redactions? And if you want to be bipartisan, would you be willing to accept an amendment to? give the
I'm
ranking
making
member-
a pledge to work with Mr. Garcia. Hopefully, he'll keep Mr. McGovern and Mr. Raskin out of the room, and we can
Yeah.
get some good things done in a bipartisan manner.
Well, a pledge.
I
is a
feel the
wonderful
same way about
document
Jamie
that
Raskin.
actually puts it
Yeah.
into writing.
I don't
would
like
be
Jamie
great.
Raskins. He's the one
Would you be
Democrat I
willing to
really
accept that
dislike.
amendment?
I think the resolution's good, and hopefully we'll vote it out in a bipartisan manner. And if we need to use that as a basis in court to get more documents, we'll do that.
Okay, so you're not willing to actually put it in writing that you will, that the ranking member will be consulted before you approve.
I
the
guarantee that I'll consult with him a heck of a lot more than Elijah Cummings and Carolyn Maloney consulted with me when they were chairman of the committee.
I'm not asking about past, I'm asking about what's this, and this is the problem, and the reason why we're concerned about this is, Chairman Comer, I've read accounts of you describing yourself as a Trump man.
As a what?
Trump man. I'm a Trump man.
Man?
You said,
Well-
I'm a Trump man.
I mean,
Yes.
I
So-
support the president.
You support the president, and this is why it would be important to have in writing the bipartisan nature, because we want there to be bipartisanship so that it is not a.
I want it
man.
too, but
So it
you
is
all
not
aren't making a good case
I was
up here, but I'm
speaking.
hopeful that Mr. Garcia
Chairman
is going to
Comer, I
see
was
past
speaking.
the
Chairman
the
Comer,
Democrats
I
on the
was
Rules
speaking.
Committee.
Madam Chair, Chairman Comer, I was speaking. And I think that it is important that we have people looking at these docs that are not a Trump man, so that we make sure that everything gets responded to, because right now, we haven't seen it. And that's why we want to make it the law of the land. We
Look,
want to make sure that all Republicans vote on the Massey Kana resolution so that they can say, we want to make sure it becomes available to everybody without it going through any process of redaction. I think that's the key.
Ms.
It's good
Ledger.
to have your investigation, but it's good to have other things too.
Ms. Ledger Fernandez, do you want to vote tonight? Would you like to vote tonight? They're going to call the vote at 20 minutes after. And so I don't know if you want to finish before I'm going to
At 20
make
minutes
a
after,
recess.
I'd still be down before 20. I
I'm
think I
gonna-
have less than 40 minutes.
I'm going to call for a recess in about 3 minutes so that we can go vote.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to see if there was anything else that the ranking member wanted to add to this discussion.
And I think the only thing that I think is important is all Republicans who support transparency and accountability should support the Thomas Massey resolution. I think it's clear. It puts everyone on record. One would actually be a law versus a resolution. And again, we're happy to support any resolution or any effort to support transparency. And I think the same should be said for the other side of the
being in that discussion today as well.
Thank you, Mr. Comer. Mr. Garcia, you're recognized.
All right. So that was basically the hearing on the files. I don't think.
Do you think they'll actually do anything about it?
No, I don't. I think this is just going to keep getting twisted and turned, and whatever narrative that they want to kick off, that's the narrative they're going to use. Since Trump's name keeps popping up everywhere and they keep redacting his name in really weird, odd ways, it just goes to show us that this administration cannot be trusted at all whatsoever. Like, even if the information is old information, why is it being redacted then?
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
Unless it's something that's really bad and they're trying to just cover it up like they're covering up everything else.
Yeah, but even when it comes down to, like, is the president covering up stuff? Is the government covering up stuff for the president? I mean, we don't really know. We don't really know. But the problem is there's no, like these other people are saying, there's been no transparency. So how are we supposed to know?
But I recommend that you listen, and the audience, that go listen to the paranormal, what you call that thing, the Conspiracy Files with Connor. He did that interview with Beatrice, and she's a victim. She decided to share her testimony, and her picture's there, but she didn't want her face shown during the interview.
Of course not.
But her picture's on the screen during the interview and stuff. And I thought it was very interesting, and I believe her.
Right.
Because she was a victim back when Trump did the beauty pageants.
Right, supposedly.
Supposedly back then, during that time.
So let's go to the Epstein files. Friday's release of millions of pages related to Jeffrey Epstein provided a closer look at his connection to world elites from Hollywood to Washington, Wall Street, to Buckingham Palace and beyond, including many high-profile men who publicly claimed to be disgusted with the convicted sex offender and his close associate and
Of course, they all said they were disgusted, and then they all popped up in those files.
of the revelation.
Yeah.
President Trump is mentioned more than 1,000 times in the newly released documents reflecting a long-standing social
But
and
Trump didn't
business
know him that
connection
well.
between the two men. Previous document releases indicated Trump was listed as a passenger on Epstein's jet 8 times between 1993 and 1998. And now, the newly released documents include uncorroborated claims about Donald Trump. The White House, responding to the Miami Herald, referred to a statement on the DOJ website denying any credibility in the accusations against the president. Several other high-profile men are in the documents, including Peter Thiel, who in one of several emails was revealed
Of course,
to write,
it's Peter
"That was
Thiel.
fun. See you in 3
He's
weeks."
basically the devil.
The context of the email exchange
Yeah.
clear.
Bill Gates shows up in an email.
Bill Gates gave his wife an STD, apparently.
Gates contracted
Yeah.
STD
I heard about
from
that
a
too.
Russian girl.
Yeah,
and
from
some
Russian girls,
antibiotics to
Russian
hide it from
hookers.
his wife.
A spokesperson for Gates called the claims absurd and completely false. Contrary to what he said publicly, New York real estate mogul Andrew Farkas co-owned a marina with Epstein, located near Epstein's Island, and the two exchanged affectionate and crude emails.
Of course
The
they did.
documents reveal Farkas himself also stayed on Epstein's private island. Another revelation, Farkas gave Epstein discounts on dockage and services at the marina, which served as a gateway to what's known as Epstein's so-called Rape Island. Billionaire Richard Branson shows
She
up in
wasn't.
files
She
too,
wasn't subtle of
hosting
that at
Epstein
all.
twice in extended
He called it
friendly
Grape
emails in
Island.
2013, joking about Epstein's harem and giving him advice about rehabilitating his image after Epstein's sex offender conviction. New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch shows up hundreds of times in this latest tranche of Epstein-related files, mostly in 2013 emails where Epstein is proposing women for Tisch to meet, sending photos and bios. In one exchange, Tisch asks if a woman he met at Epstein's home is a, quote, working girl, and Epstein replies, NWVER. Then asks for Tisch's phone number, saying he doesn't like, quote, records of these conversations. Later, Epstein tells Tisch, you did well, and that the woman wants to see a play, but is freaked out about his age. In a statement, Tisch wrote in part that he did not take Epstein up on any of his invitations and never went to his island.
Sure
In
you
the case,
didn't.
Prince Andrew is showing them never-before-seen photos on a floor on all fours with an unidentified female, along with more exchanges with Epstein, arranging dinners and offering meetings with women. And another where Andrew invites Epstein to come here to BP, referring to Buckingham Palace. Many men whose names are in the documents had publicly and vehemently distanced themselves from the predator.
Of course they
but
did.
were
Nobody
shown
wants to be
have had
seen as an
seemingly friendly
Epstein
contact
sympathizer.
with Epstein. That includes a number of men in Donald Trump's orbit and his administration. Elon Musk had said in 2019 that Epstein tried repeatedly to get me to visit his island.
It turns out
I
you wanted to
declined.
go.
Yet, according to released emails from 2012, he asked, are you coming by helicopter? Probably just Tallulah and me. What day/night will be the wildest party on your island? Musk has denied attending that party, nor ever visiting the island.
Of course.
Trump's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick in 2025 publicly described Epstein as gross and the greatest blackmailer ever, and that he had resolved years earlier never to be in the same room with him again, suggesting he had cut ties with Epstein. But according to the newly released documents, Lutnick arranged and carried out a private lunch with Epstein
Dirty
and
bastard.
his family on Epstein's private island. And Trump's newly nominated pick for chair of the Federal Reserve appears to have been invited to one of Epstein's social events. We do not know if he attended.
Of course not.
New, fresh, trending. NFM is where style starts. Explore our huge in-stock selection and
One other notable, the director of the newly released documentary Melania, Brett Ratner, appears in the newly released documents, including this photo of Ratner on a couch next to Jeffrey Epstein, with Ratner's arm around an unidentified female, and Epstein sitting shoulder to shoulder with another female, both of their faces obscured.
Multiple media outlets have reached out to Brett Ratner, who apparently you would think, you don't know, but you would think would be kind of on a media tour because of this Melania movie. No comment there.
Fascinating.
Yeah, Lisa Rubin, everyone waited 6 weeks at least to see these documents. Apparently there are more that maybe we'll never see. These have redactions. And one of the reasons why there was a wait, lawmakers claimed that the documents needed to be poured through to protect the victims.
And yet they didn't protect any other victims.
And yet victims were not protected, it appears, in these documents. Tell us about it.
No, Mika, I spent a lot of time looking at these documents, and obviously you can't boil the ocean over a weekend. 3 million pages is quite a bit. But one of the things I found was I counted the names of more than 40 known and suspected survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell just in my cursory review of the documents. And of course, on Friday, one of the first things I found was a driver's license of a known survivor, someone who testified at Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, with her photo completely unredacted, something that Todd Blanche had pledged in his Friday press conference that we would absolutely not see. He told us that photos of every woman except for Ghislaine Maxwell would be fully redacted, and yet this was a driver's license with the woman's picture fully visible, her name fully visible, and yet someone had taken the time to black out her address. And Mika, now I can tell you and our viewers, I've had the opportunity to speak with this woman who gave me permission to share her story this morning. Her name is Anushka DiGiorgio. She was one of the 4 women who testified at Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. And in addition to her driver's license, one of the things that I discovered was handwritten notes from and a typewritten memorandum from a July 2021 meeting she had with prosecutors. And the purpose of that meeting was to assess her credibility on the stand at Ghislaine Maxwell's trial by probing her about the most intimate details of her life and background. Things like her romantic history, her history of substance abuse and her subsequent recovery and sobriety. Things like the names of her sponsors in recovery and the names of men that she had dated, and so on and so forth. Anushka DiGiorgio found out that these documents were in the public domain because I contacted her lawyer. And on Friday, she received a text from her lawyer notifying her about this. Within 24 hours, she wrote a scathing email to senior leadership at the Southern District of New York. You'll remember that the Southern District of New York's U.S. Attorney's Office was where Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were both prosecuted. They also played a very prominent role in the review of these documents. Anushka DiGiorgio telling them that they had re-traumatized her and opened up wounds that she had spent years trying to recover from, as well as exposing her to legal, professional, and personal harm by exposing these details about her life. As of yesterday
Which
morning,
should have never
these
happened.
documents belonging to DiGiorgio were removed from the Department of Justice's website. But did she get a response from anyone at the Department of Justice? Neither she nor her lawyers did.
And so important, Lisa, to keep the victims front of mind here. So thank you for doing that. Let's.
So, yeah. So it appears that a lot of the victims were not were not redacted. One lady's driver's license literally shown to the world in the documents. That's not okay.
No, it's not. That's an invasion of privacy right there.
100%. You know, she should be allowed to sue over that, but I don't know if she will or not. But this is probably going to wrap up the small episode I had this morning for the craziness of what is the Schmepstein files being released to absolutely the entire world. We'll probably catch up more on this later. Thanks for joining me this morning, Julie. I know it was out of nowhere, but I saw that was going live today, so I wanted to have that up and live on the cast.
I'm glad you did. That was kind of interesting to see, and I like that one lady. She seems to be right on it.
Yeah, that Ferdinand's lady. She seemed like she knew what she was talking about. She was a little bit liberal on defending like the Democratic Party, but you know, she did also say that both parties had some issues there in the beginning. And you know, the other guy that was up there, I always forget his name, but the main guy with the gray hair that's always cutting people off. He's smart too, but he's also like, it seems like he wants things to go with a certain narrative and that he always has to be right. And that bothers me a little bit. But
and
anyway,
then, who was the guy that actually admitted that both parties are wrong?
that's the guy that I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure of what his name is. He's very smart guy.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, there will be an episode of the Robert and Crew Show tonight. Now, I know this was being streamed on YouTube, so to anybody that watches this on YouTube, I have a Kick channel, the Robert and Crew on Kick, and a Twitch channel, the Robert and Crew Show on Twitch. So if you want to check us out tonight, we'll be going live on Kick and Twitch doing the Robert and Crew Show Disney Musical Edition. So Crew's got an entire show planned out on there. Later on in the future, we will come back to all of this stuff in the morning if we learn any new information.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me this morning, Julie. I will catch you tonight when the podcast goes.
All right.
Much love,
Look forward to
everybody.
it.
See you later for the Robert and Cruz
All
Show.
right.
Point the light from the underground to the heights. 12:30 a.m. The truth ignites. No start attack, no end in sight.